Abyss 1. The most unforgiving content in this game right now, the hardest, the most hero-gated, the most brutal, the most testing of your nerves, your will, your chutzpah, your gumption, every word you can think of. It's getting harder. That's what I'm here to say. It's getting harder. Not Abyss 1's getting harder, but we're going to get something even harder than that. It is now confirmed in the guide for Drake's Chasm. This is Guild Boss 1. Abyss 2 will be making an appearance. Whenever they preload stuff in before actually introducing it to the game, it almost always means it's coming the next update. So very likely for the anniversary update, the end of June, beginning of July update, we are getting Abyss 2. We're already getting Abyss 2. So I have a lot of thoughts on this. We have to unpack it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
I think a lot of people are going to be frightened. They're going to be shivering. They are going to be quaking in their boots. And that's kind of me, to be fair. Abyss 1 has proven to be an enormous challenge, and a challenge that is really hard to chip away at. You need the right roster of heroes, you need the right awakenings, you need the right gear, and then you need to master a very hard piece of content. I'm not really complaining about it because this is the endgame of endgame content, but I do think some people are going to be scared off because not anymore. It's not the endgame. That's going to be Abyss 2. So right off the bat, let's talk about it. Abyss 1, I'll just scroll through so you can see the monster skills. By the way, you'll find this on your global server, your Forerunner server, live right now. To get here, simply click on any difficulty, go into the fight, and then click on this magnifying glass. Shout out to Anthony Matos, who's the first person who DM'd me about it, and then I got a lot of DMs about it. But you can go to the difficulties here. You see Abyss 1, and then you go to Abyss 2. But anyway, talking about skills. Abyss 1, I'll just scroll through so you can peek as I scroll on the right. These are the skills. You're probably pretty familiar by now. Abyss 2, identical. Nothing changed. So what does this mean? Almost certainly Abyss 2 is going to be identical to Abyss 1, just like Nightmare 3 is the same as Nightmare 4, except it's going to be harder, which is kind of crazy to think about. How much harder is the big question? Like people getting 30K plus chests, will they be able to get the 5K chests in Abyss 2 or whatever the lowest chest is? I freaking hope so. But it's super possible, maybe no, I don't know. Like Abyss 1, still so few people can get 60K. The number's obviously risen, but in large part it's risen because people have just changed where they're putting their soul stones, and super endgame players, super heavy spenders are redirecting their focus, rightfully so. These are like the best rewards in the game. I don't know why this is all lit up like I can claim. I already did it, didn't I? What's going on here? You see that red dot, but I can't claim a chest? It's kind of weird, right? I guess let's just claim these chests while I'm doing it. But yeah, Abyss 1, basically, I'll show you the top score. Very, very few people have mastered it. It has proven to be a really fun challenge, I think, for endgame players. I think a pretty frustrating, negligible challenge, just because why would you even engage with it for, late game, mid game, early game players? But to be fair, oh, there it is. Who is it really for? It's clearly endgame content. Not everything can be for all players. I don't like when they sell it as some big interesting thing for everybody and some big core piece of content in an update when such a small portion, such a small percentage of the player base will be able to engage with it. But frankly, we need proper endgame content, and I don't think that should frustrate people. This is something to aspire to over 2 years of gameplay, or a year of gameplay with extremely heavy spending. But like here I am with all my content creator rewards, nearly 2 years straight of gameplay, daily, aggressive, competitive gameplay, and I'm getting about 24K. I'm going to A3 my Kagiri hopefully tomorrow. I've been waiting on it just for when I can film content creator problems. I would believe that will push me above 30K. Will it get me over 35? I don't know. But that's the situation I am in as a very, advanced player with a very well-developed account. But if we look here at Abyss 1, you'll see if we go to the world rankings, how many people are over 60 today, this Saturday morning. The number goes up a little bit every day, but it's still less than you'd like to see. We're sitting at 24 today. Maybe we'll be at 30 or 35 by the end of the day. And this is the entirety of the global server. I mean, a lot of these accounts are the strongest accounts in the land. So Red D, aka L over here, 13.7, almost 14 million BP. That's double what I have. Not getting that 60K. Obviously can get it. Obviously will get it. But I mean, that's the first person missing. That's the situation we're in. That's how hard it is. And already Moonton's licking their chops. They're getting ready. They're saying it's time for Abyss 2. So why do I think they think it's acceptable to release this content? Frankly, I do think it comes down to Malric's Hall of Illusions. I've done 2 different videos on that. You should definitely go check it out. But essentially, we're getting content where you're going to have these farmable keystones dropping from the gear raids, and then those keystones will allow you to enter the Malric Hall of Illusions and enter these instances where you can farm gems. And you should definitely watch the video because I explain each one of the gems and what they do, but they allow you to add stuff to your main stats of your gear. They allow you to modify a substat. They allow you to re-roll a substat. They allow you to boost the stats, the additional stat contributions on your artifacts. They transform your tier 1 pieces of gear into a random same type tier 2 or tier 3. So if it's a DPS piece like Fracture, that could become Infernal Roar or Cataclysm, something like that. Soulbound Arcana, Ageless Wrath, Hell's Lament. There you go. I'll name them all. If it's Asclepius, if it's Mana Spring, that's going to become something like Invig or Wings of Grace. Super powerful stuff. And because of the stat augmentation, because of the re-rolling, because of the way it's going to let you increase and refine your gear at the same time, it is going to make a lot of things in the end game easier. You know, getting a lot of gems is going to take a very long time for a lot of people, even for endgame players, but it's supposed to be a grind. Let's see, once it launches globally, how hard a grind it is. But I want to give a shout out to my friend Behemoth, who's on the Forerunner server and is just now about to get his 60K. He's someone who's been playing for, over 2.5 years because Forerunner is out before global. Very advanced account, tons and tons of daily farming. Crazy. You guys might have seen the gear when I was streaming it for the gear raids 22 and higher each stage for each of the 3 gear raids. He's finding a huge boost to his account and the potential of what he can accomplish by farming runes. So I think that's how Moonton's viewing this, saying a lot more people than just the current 24 at 11:26 a.m. my time on a Saturday are going to get 60K plus, because of runes. So all of a sudden we need something a little harder. So that will be Abyss 2. I would fully expect Abyss 2 to be incredibly difficult. And I think it probably should be. As long as they're not planning to introduce an Abyss 3 3 months later, like they're doing with Abyss 2 to Abyss 1 now, I think it's okay. If it's something we all need to chip away at once you reach the endgame another year, I think that's fine if it's aspirational, as long as it doesn't have like make or break resources and it's strictly required, and as long as it one day is attainable. And it seems like things like runes and farming the Malric content is going to be a huge game changer, kind of as we predicted as well. So I think that's basically where we stand right now with that stuff. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. I also would like to know how you're enjoying Abyss 1. If you're lower down, like if you haven't even gotten 50K yet on Nightmare 4, don't worry. Like, you're not supposed to be getting Abyss 1. I am going to make a 5K Abyss 1 guide. I'm going to put a lot of work in next week at some point. I want to figure out what's the worst team you can get 5K with. Just get that lowest chest, because these chests are so strong. They're so valuable. If your guild can take down Abyss 1 and you can get even the lowest chest, it's worth spending an extra 200 diamonds every day so you can farm Abyss 1, Nightmare 4, and Nightmare 3. But for everyone else, I think you just have to be okay with the fact that not all content is for you until you reach it. I do want to say, I very much hope Moonton is planning on introducing some other content with the anniversary, ideally some kind of weekly or daily boss content that is for everybody, because obviously Abyss 1 is not for everybody. It's something that one day could be for everybody after you play the game for 1, 2, 3 years, but that's not attractive to players. That doesn't hook players. That doesn't excite the vast majority of the player base. If you remember, right before the anniversary last year, that is when they introduced Semra Titanic Ruins. That's when they introduced Guild Boss 2. And that was kind of huge, right? It took a while to figure out, but at the very least, most players, above the mid game, if you'd been playing for 150 days plus, and frankly, if you're playing hard, if you'd been playing for 80 days plus, you can put a big dent. You can make a lot of progress in APOC 1. And then the aspirational thing became APOC 2. And you can see over the past year, with the new heroes that have been introduced, with the Forge being introduced, with all these different things, APOC 2 is not the challenge it once was. So many people can get there so much faster now. I mean, most players that if they have a well-developed account, an endgame account, can get 300,000 frags plus at this point. So I'd be really interested to see what they introduce. Again, it'd be cool if they introduce something like an Apocalypse 3, but that's not for everybody. So we have the same problem. I hope they have something coming beyond the Hall of Illusions that's really content for the masses. And they can have different degrees of difficulty, of course, but I hope there's something new and something fresh. As soon as I hear about something like that, I'll be sure to let you know. That's the meaty part of this video with the Guild Wars, the Guild Boss stuff, excuse me. The only other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is just stuff that's been showing up in our mailbox, A touch of housekeeping here. First things first, with the recent update, 3 days ago now, we got 500 diamonds. So way back, not even that back, like 6 months ago, 5-6 months ago, the compensation was always 100 diamonds, which feels like really bad compensation for server maintenance. It's something a lot stingier games would do, right? And Moonton ain't stingy. That's one thing we like about them, right? They upped it to 300, and I made a big fuss about it. I was like, that's kind of huge, 300 diamonds, right? That's almost four pulls. Of equivalent to 4 rare summons. That's really good. Now, without any real warning, they upped it to 500 with this update. They did say it in the update notes, but it's 500. I mean, that is over half a 10 bull. That is a ton of huge stamina pots, a ton of farming you can do. This is a really, in my opinion, a very generous update compensation. And every time they do this, it becomes the new norm. So you can expect every update now, that's 500 diamonds. That is really powerful. Next up, I haven't talked about this yet, but they just randomly said the magic of childhood and sent us a 10 pull. Don't mind if I goddamn do. Awesome. I love random stuff like that. I think it's important when we are hypercritical of Moonton, which I can be. I think I can be full of praiseful, laudatory, whatever you want to call it. And I think I can be hypercritical, so I think it kind of balances itself out. But I mean, let's talk about it. They do this random stuff, and I think some of us forget it. Maybe I've even been guilty of that. We're just like, oop, in your mailbox, a bunch of freebies. Oh, random unthemed login rewards for no reason, bunch of freebies. I think they're pretty good about that. And then finally, we had the Apex Coin Arena Settlement. And this was, what is the highest rank you achieved from January 1st? If the highest you achieved was Apex, it was 3,000 coins. If it was Overlord, it was 1,500. Sorry, I don't remember Plat 3 and below. But a big question I had, and many people had, was, is it the highest you placed at the end of the week or the highest you've ever been? And here's your answer. It was the more generous version. It's the highest you've ever been. So if you spent just 1 minute of your life in Overlord, you got 1,500 Apex coins of your life as of January 1st, 2025. And then in my case, it was 3,000. I spent about an evening and a morning, half a day total in Apex Overlord a week ago, trying to see if I'd be able to get 3,000 coins from this, get the extra 1,500. And I did. I'd never placed an Apex Overlord. I've never made that push, but I did make the push just to hang out there for the middle of the week, and it rewarded me. So there's 3,000, and you can see Alex is going to get a lot closer. Ooh, I'm at exactly 16,000. Alex is going to get a lot closer for a lot of people, so I might start doing a little more active pushing for Alex. Maybe I'll do some arena streams if you guys are interested in that. You can see I'm at 16,000. It takes 40,000 coins for Alex, Lady Alexandra. And that means I'm at 40%, right? 16,000 out of 40,000 is 40%. So making pretty good progress. They've improved the drops per win. They've improved the drops at weekend settlement, end of the week settlement. So she should become a lot more attainable. She's someone a lot of us basically need at this point. So I'm excited to do that. If you guys are interested, just let me know. Abyss 2, though, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. What kind of new content are you hoping to see with the anniversary? I've got a ton of ideas. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. I've been Fastidious. If you like my stuff, please do subscribe, share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.